We are back on Get Up as we approach the bottom of the hour. We're going to keep this rolling with a game of Sound Off with some of the most interesting people saying some of the most interesting things. And we start with this. It is New York Knicks guard Josh Hart. He was on the Pivot podcast with our guy RC and everybody, and he was talking about the Celtics. And you're going to hear who he thinks is Boston's most impactful player. Let's hear it.
I might put over just like impactful. I might put Derrick White more impactful than JT. Look at every main play in the last 6 minutes of the fourth to overtime. Every big play he made. He's probably one of the most impactful players because he does just everything on the court and does everything at a very high level.
Okay. So, I mean, this is where we've gotten now. So, look, I suppose I have to take some responsibility for this because on this show and on our radio show, we've done a lot of debating, well, just how great is Jayson Tatum? Is it Tatum's team or Brown's team? Well, I get it. We've had those conversations. And if you want to have an argument over whether or not Jayson Tatum is one of the 5 best players in the world, as he was voted to be by being first-team All-NBA, I think that is a perfectly reasonable conversation to have. Are we seriously going to have a conversation about whether Derrick White is more impactful to the Celtics than Jayson Tatum is? I mean, I love you, Josh Hart. Are we seriously having that conversation? Where do we begin? If we were to just put the two of them up there and let all 30 teams decide, would you rather have Jayson Tatum or Derrick White?
Different conversation.
No, it's not.
Different conversation.
He never said who's the better player.
Impactful.
Impactful. Different.
We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this.
No.
We're not doing this. Listen to me.
Just because you yell doesn't make you right.
The best I have to keep you guys quiet. Keep you guys quiet. But the best thing to happen for the Celtics is to have this break, right? The worst thing to happen to Jayson Tatum is to have this break because we are now going to spend this time talking about him and his ability to win a championship and what it means and all that stuff.
How do you want to define impactful, okay? So if you took one off the team or the other off the team, how do you want to define impactful?
I think Jayson Tatum is more impactful than Derrick White.
You think so?
Yeah, but Derrick White
is that something you need to give thought to?
No, it was not. That's a fair point well played on your part. Jayson Tatum is more impactful, but Derrick White is right there, though. Derrick White does everything nitty-gritty for this team. He is never out of position defensively. He always gets the best defensive matchup, and he's always the guy that's actually orchestrating the team and is actually putting them in positions to succeed. It is really up there as a level of priority. He is top 3 impactful players on this roster.
Is he making that impact if Jayson Tatum's not on the floor drawing attention, all the things that he does it not then allow Derrick White to do the things that he does?
Listen, I will say this, is that I would call Derrick White, he's a glue guy. Like, if you don't have those type of guys, you're not in this position right now. The defensive assignments, the critical shots that this man is hitting out there on offense, particularly at the three-point line. Like, he has been major for the Boston. I'm not sitting here disputing that is he better than Jayson Tatum? Hell no, he's not better than Jayson Tatum. But as far as the way he's been impacting the game, particularly in the postseason, come on, man.
I'll give you another one real quick. So a couple years ago, nobody would argue that Jrue Holiday was more impactful than Giannis, right? But when you remove Jrue Holiday from that team, where are the Milwaukee Bucks?
Well, they're not winning the
I'm just saying, similar thing there with Derrick White.
When you remove Giannis,
I agree.
They're in the lottery.
I'm not saying he's more impactful than Jayson Tatum.
But impact is also
right
based
there
on what's around you and what you're allowed to do. And I love this is coming from Josh Hart because Josh Hart is impactful and was impactful on the Knicks' success. But it's Jalen Brunson and his presence allowed Josh Hart to make the impact he did in other areas.
Can I ask a question? Did I miss a meeting? What did Jayson Tatum do to planet Earth to be disrespected in the way he is now regularly disrespected?
But wait a minute, who's disrespecting Jayson Tatum?
We just all agreed that he's not more
But a credible person just said it on a credible podcast. The Pivot is a very credible place. Josh Hart is a very credible person, and he just said that Derrick White, you could argue, is more impactful than Jayson Tatum.
Impactful, Jay.
You just earlier this morning, I'll use your word, it's steadfastly insane.
I agree.
If you took Jayson Tatum off the Celtics, they would have no chance of winning anything. If you took Derrick White off the Celtics,
he's the better player.
They would. He's
the better player.
He impacts the game in every single way, on every single possession.
Let's just take this for the record. Jayson Tatum's the most impactful player for the Boston Celtics, right?
Right.
Like, because he gets
Jaylen Brown is next.
He gets double teamed every single night.
And that's, yes.
He gets double teamed every single night, and he actually passes the ball and he makes other people better. Yeah. Not sure Jaylen Brown makes everybody else better.
Okay.
More of a demonstrative scorer, but Jayson Tatum most impactful. Derrick White, top three though.
All the defensive
top three
attention that allows Derrick White then to do other things.
Looking at go ahead, D. Wood.
Like, are we saying, like, we sitting here trying to dismiss what Josh Hart is saying here?
He's not all the way wrong.
Like,
yes, I'm dismissing it.
He's not, like, he's not off.
Yes, he's
not
off.
off.
He's way off.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How are you defining impactful? If you're suggesting he does more different things on a moment-to-moment basis, I guess in theory you might want to try and make that argument. But the reality is, if impactful means they impact their team winning the game, I'm not 100% sure that this season Kristaps Porzingis wasn't more impactful to the Celtics than Derrick White was, and certainly Jaylen Brown was, and definitely Jayson Tatum was.
I would say he's more impactful.
And the worst part of this is I love Derrick White, and I'm sitting here dismissing him as though he's done nothing. He's been spectacular for that team. He is a terrific player. They probably would not be where they are without him, but they sure as hell wouldn't be anywhere without Jayson Tatum. What are we talking about? When the Bulls are
Why do you keep looking at me?
Because I feel like you're defending me.
I'm not defending me. I just said that Jayson Tatum was more impactful.
Let me ask you a question.
White.
Did you watch the Bulls when they were winning championships in the 90s? That 96, 97, 98? How many different things did Dennis Rodman do for those teams? He D'd up the other team's best player. He was a great passer. He was a heady player. He got every rebound. Was he more impactful to them winning than Michael Jordan?
I think
Derrick White doesn't get every rebound.
I don't think Josh Hart was really saying that he's more impactful.
Well, he said the words more impactful. So if he didn't mean more impactful, he probably shouldn't have said the word more and then the word impactful.
I think what he was talking about are some of the defensive intricacies that Derrick White brings to the table, and also how he's floor spaces. Like, I think if we really had Josh here, I don't think Josh would say, yeah, Derrick White's more important than Jayson Tatum. I think everybody in the world knows Jayson Tatum's role.
Josh, call us. I don't think call us.
I need to hear what Josh said after that. I need the description when he really breaks it down.
Because, look, I mean, everyone is entitled to their opinion. But maybe the reason I wanted to do this is because I think it is part of a larger conversation, which is that it feels as though there is, and I don't know where it comes from, and maybe you can help me with this, and he's a Duke guy, there is this desire, I feel like, to sort of diminish Jayson Tatum. I don't know why. I'm not sure what it is. There is something about the way he acts, because
people don't like the fact he's not as demonstrative.
Right.
When we think about great players, we like people who are demonstrative.
Right.
Why is everybody in love with Anthony Edwards? Because he's like, I'll talk trash to you. This is who I am. We're like, oh, we need that. And Jayson isn't as talkative. He's a little bit more passive in that relation, but he's more demonstrative with his play on the floor. It's different.
Yeah, and that's, I think, something that we see in a lot of players. It depends on how much are you part of the show and how much are you just simply playing the game at a very high level. But I still think for Tatum, it's still about winning. And the fact that 2 years ago, got to the finals, did not play well, and then last year, bowing out in the Eastern Conference Finals against a 8th-seeded Miami Heat was unacceptable. So now it's staring at him saying, hey, we've put all this belief in what you are as a player. You need to now pay it off. Can he do it this year? That's what we're waiting for.
Could it also be because it seems like we've seen Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown together for quite some time.
Right.
And he hasn't broken through yet.
Paid off.
He hasn't broken through yet. I think that's where, to me, the quote-unquote disrespect of Jayson Tatum is coming from, because everybody's like, when? When is it going to happen? You guys have been together forever.
Notice we see it, but we don't believe it.
Yeah, well, because Tatum, of course, is in his mid-30s, and he better get this done soon. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, he's not?
It's like there's disrespect out there for a guy that's been to countless Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA championship. At that young of an age, I don't think people recognize how difficult that is to do. It takes every team a while to break through.
That's why
it took Michael Jordan a while to break through.
Yes, that's why I've said that this break has been good for the Celtics. It's been terrible for Jayson Tatum. I mean, he wants to get to a game as fast as possible.
Well, he can't. They're not going to play till next Thursday.